my whole career I've followed my gut, and I remember that day when they asked me, it was like I was literally getting punched in the stomach, like say no, say no.
Kane Brown, welcome to Smooth Country.
Thanks for having me.
So it's good to have you here in the UK as well. How have the concerts gone? Because I've seen some great stuff on social media, people talking about it. So from your point of view.
Yeah, well, when I first got here, it was super humbling. Because when we come here, we don't really get to bring our production or anything, and we go back in clubs. We're trying to grow our fan base over here, so it's just bare, and it's just me and my band and the crowd. So it's just trying to keep as much energy in there as possible. The fans over here have been so welcoming and just I guess excited. So it's been really easy to keep the energy, and then just did London. And I actually got to bring some of my production over here, and you could of course tell a huge difference in the energy in the building. But it's been awesome, and I keep telling everybody, I just want to keep growing my fan base. We doubled the last time we were in London. I think we played for 2,000 people, and then the other night we were a little above 4,000. So it's exciting.
It is getting there all the time. Does that seem very strange? Because obviously you're playing huge shows in the States, and and you just said it's almost like going back a step or two.
Yeah.
Does that almost remind you of the earlier days of your career? In the States when you come here for that reason?
No, it's actually exciting because over here it's so. In the States, I had to learn how to how to perform and growing my fan base all in one. So it'd be like if you're a fan from day one, you see me actually not knowing what I'm doing on stage. But then when I come here, I've been doing it for so long, and I'm still trying to get fan base over here. So you get to come and you're already seeing an experienced artist. So for me, I'm way more comfortable, and it's more fun now than it was when I first started, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting the polished Kane, if you like, rather than...
Yeah, and I'm still learning. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it's just a lot more than when I first started. I was just, on stage, standing still, like, I hope you like me. So it's a big difference.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that because you came through social media for a start, and then you were doing cover versions of well-established stars. Was that always the dream, or did it almost start off as a hobby, or did you have a master plan that it's going to grow organically on social media?
Part of me was hoping that I was gonna go viral and all this stuff, and I tried to study it and everything, but. I think for like a year straight, I was just putting out covers, and I had moved so many different schools. Like it was easy to get 100 likes for me on Facebook, which it wouldn't do anything for you. But I was like, well, people know that I like to sing. And then eventually, once I did go viral, that just became the thing. I was like, well, maybe I can make something of this. Never thought a record deal would come out of it, but I was like, maybe I can start writing my music and people will buy it, and I can get money from iTunes. And that's what happened for the first 2 years or so, and then now it's way past my expectations.
You also tried out on the likes of X Factor as well, didn't you? Because you went down that route. But I'm told that you pulled out of it because they wanted to manufacture you or send you in a different direction. Was it to make you part of a group?
Yeah, so my whole career I've followed my gut, and I remember that day when they asked me, it was like I was literally getting punched in the stomach, like, say no, say no. And so I did, and, I was supposed to be put in this group called Restless Road, and a couple years go by, and I see them on Twitter covering one of my songs, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then a couple more years pass, and they're signed to my record label now. And they're killing it, they've been going to every show with me. They've been on tour with me for I think 2 years now, and they're very passionate. And I've known them for 7 years. They're great guys. They're super talented. Have great songs, and we're just trying to break them next.
But isn't it funny how you could have been, had you been more pliable for the people, in control in the industry, you could have just been part of another boy band, right? If
Yeah.
there was something deep inside saying, I'm not having this. So that takes a bit of strength as well, doesn't it, back then?
Oh yeah, it does. Especially when I've been fighting for it forever, and I didn't just do X Factor once. I mean I did a lot of other TV shows too, and that was the furthest I had made it was you can be on the show if you join this boy band, and I definitely part of me wanted to do it, but I've never had a feeling that strong.
I'm curious as well. We touched upon it just a moment or two ago, but when you're traveling in Europe, so specifically here now, you've just done a whole series of gigs. Is there much of a difference with the UK audience as opposed to when you're performing in the States?
I would just say so. I think the main thing is like the States. I haven't fully figured out like the radio situation here, but like we have so many radio stations over in the United States that everybody just gets the music fed to them. And when you come over here, it's like they also y'all have y'all station and y'all feed them songs, but they don't have as much, so they have to go and actually listen to the album, like the super deep cuts that are never going to get out at all. And so that's what I feel is just the difference is they actually know songs that you would never think about playing. Like over here, when I was coming over here, they were asking me to play my first song I ever wrote was "Don't Go City on Me." They're not asking me to play that in the States,
right?
And so it's like just a whole different thing. Plus, we don't ever come. It's rare for us to come over here as much as we tour in the States. So they're also wanting to hear songs that they haven't ever got to hear live. So that's another big difference.
We've spoken about the organic start you had into the industry. You kind of just felt your way, which is brilliant because that wouldn't have been possible before social media like 20, 30 years ago. You either had to get a record deal or it wasn't going to work, right? Mm-hmm. That's just the way. So you did that. What advice though would you give to somebody watching this right now? There's another Kane Brown or a Caitlin Brown watching this right now, and they're desperate to break through. What would you say to them?
I would say just be yourself. For me, like when I first started out, I didn't care what anybody thought. It was just like the more likes I get and the more shares I get on Facebook, the more people know me, and it's gonna get me out there. And then once I kind of started getting a name for myself, I wanted everybody to like me, and I just that's not the case for anybody. If you can make everybody like you, then you're God. So I would just say be you. Don't worry about anybody else, because I started to shut down and not post as much on social media because I didn't want to see anything negative.
Right.
Don't worry about it because it's going to happen regardless. Just keep posting, just keep being you, and then you'll never have to worry about it in the future.
I've got to ask you, that's good advice just generally for everybody, let alone trying to break through into the industry. I've got to ask you about working with Caitlin.
Okay.
There was a lot of speculation. Will they? Won't they? A couple of years ago, and obviously Caitlin was a singer herself and is a singer. So you finally did it. And how did that? Was it weird working with your wife, or was it just?
No. So when we came in, we were singing songs and putting them on social media, and there was a thing in the back of our mind of, we don't want people to think that she's using me or using my platform. So we could have done a song a long time ago. It just wasn't the right time. So we waited, and she's a mom and she's a wife, and she didn't ask me to be on my album or whatever. I just told her, I was like, it's time.
Yeah,
it's time. We've been waiting. So thank God came in our lap, and she wanted to jump on that song, and she thought she was just gonna have like a cute song on my project. And when she did, I was like, babe, it's about to be the biggest song on the album. I was like, you got to get ready to do it at award shows and things. And she's like, no. And I told you so, So I'm just excited to see what it keeps doing. Like we haven't played it in the States once yet. We played it in Canada, and then we played it over here. So it's going to be interesting.
It really is. You do realize some people go to work to escape their wives and husbands, and for you at this stage, it's good to be working together. That's brilliant to hear.
Yeah, no, I love when she comes on stage. It's kind of like we first started dating again. She's like this, nervous thing, and but you can just see the smile on her face, and she's so excited to be up there. So it's a great feeling.
we've spoken to Chris Brown before. Chris Young, and you guys have worked together. Are there any other plans to do collaborations with anybody else, or do you even have a wish list out there that you think that would really work, or one day I'll work with them?
No, mine kind of just I'll just listen to a song, and then usually immediately I can hear an artist on it, and then I'll either send it to them or send it to one of the A&Rs over at Sony and say, see if you can make this happen, or my manager, and usually it usually does.
I've got to ask you as well, and it's great having you face to face for this, because you hear all sorts of rumors, or you'll see a little story online, and now I can ask you myself. So one of them was that you were going to get an agent to maybe break into the acting world.
Yeah.
A, is that true? And B, how's it going?
Yeah. So we've been working with Jennifer Davidson, which was Leonardo DiCaprio's manager. So we've been trying to get roles, and she's been really excited about it. But I've always wanted to kind of get into acting. I'm a huge movie fanatic. I think the hardest part is just whenever they ask me what type of movie do you want to be in, it's like, I don't know. It's like I'll be the garbage boy. I'll do whatever I have to do to get in and just see how it works, because I feel like I can be on stage and I can do all this, but I think it's going to be a little bit. I might be able to turn it on. I don't know, but I feel like it'll be a little bit different once they put you in the room and say action.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm really good at remembering my lines.
Well, that's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're in good company if you're dealing in the world of Leonardo DiCaprio for a start. So maybe something will rub off and work for you in that direction.
I mean, she knows what she's doing, so.
Yeah. Do you have any other wish list? Because you've come a long way in a relatively short period of time for some artists, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever pinch yourself thinking how it's all fallen into place so far? And
no, I'm kind of different, man. It's like no pun intended. I look at myself as, I don't really know how to explain it. I don't look at myself as this huge artist. I just look at myself as a little boy from Georgia that's trying to just make it for his family and keep going as long as he can. So I don't really pinch myself, because I don't ever look back. I just keep trying to go forward, and I don't get excited over any accomplishments or anything like that. I think once I'm finally done, then I will. But right now I'm just moving.
An absolute pleasure, and continued success for you, and hopefully we'll see you again in the UK at some point.
Yes, sir. Would love it.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.